Hello everyone, hope you are all doing good. Welcome to my channel SFDC-Chronicle. In this video, we'll continue our Apex design pattern series with a discussion on the facade design pattern, a type of structural design pattern. So let's dive in. The facade design pattern is a structural design pattern that provides a simplified, unified interface to a complex system. It hides the complexity of multiple components and exposes only the necessary functionality, making it easier to use. Let me explain with an example. Imagine a restaurant where you go when you go to a restaurant, you don't go to the kitchen to order food or interact with multiple chefs and waiters. Instead, you simply place your order with the waiter who handles all the communication with the kitchen and delivers the food to you. In this use case, the waiter acts as the facade by simplifying your interaction with the restaurant. Behind the scene, multiple people, chefs, cashier, work together, but you don't need to deal with them individually. You just interact with the waiter who makes the process easy and seamless. Same happened for facade design pattern. Facade design pattern is doing the job of the waiter. So now let's check a use case in our real life scenario or from Salesforce Apex perspective where we can use facade design pattern. So there is a use case like a student is doing research for a university based on his or her GRE, GMAT, GATE or CAT result. As a Salesforce developer, we need or we want to make the student life easier by providing the university list. How we can able to do that one? So what is the requirement? First, let's understand that one. Show, so we need to show different form for existing user and guest user so that we can collect the score, the GPA, the major, and the SOP of the user or a student. Once the form submitted in the backend, the data got verified, whether the format is okay or not, everything got verified. And once data validated successfully, we need to verify the student exam score is accurate or not by calling a web service. That is our requirement. Okay. So there is a third party web service who able to tell us whether the score provided by the student is accurate or not, is authenticate or not. Okay. After that, the score verification happen. Then we fetch the university details based upon score, GP, and major. And then once we got the university details, only for the logged in user, we show we again call a third party app that will provide the fees and the discount and all those things. Okay, so that is our requirement, that is our use case. Now as a Salesforce developer, what we'll do, we'll first create two form that required with all the required fields. Then we create a class to validate user details and data format. Then again we can come back and then again we call the third party web service to verify the score is correct or not. And then again we call another class to fetch the university list, and we again call an API, third party app, to check the fees and discount details. So as we are doing it for guest user and existing user, so we created two form and we use the same format in both the places, like calling this, calling that. We use the same sequence in for guest user as well as existing user. Existing user will have one step more. Now suppose there is some another type of user that we introduce, like super user or something, and we create a page for that super user. Then again we need to write the same sequential code there as well, in that controller as well. So you able to understand the overhead, right? Now suppose between providing the score accuracy and giving them the university details, we need to introduce one more functionality. Then that functionality we need to do in different places. So how to mitigate that one? How not to expose all the classes, all the details to the user, rather we keep uh, everything encapsulated, and it's just a easier interface for a particular user or from a front end perspective. How to do that one? There comes facade design pattern. In case of facade design pattern, what we'll do, we'll create a facade class that will take all the overhead of doing the same, doing the things sequentially, calling this class, calling that class, and from the front end, we only call that facade class. We will not going to expose any other class to front end. Rather, the facade class will going to be exposed to the front end, and all the overhead is taken care by facade class itself. So let's check that one in action in Salesforce. So I have already logged into my Salesforce org, and this is my developer console. Let me show you. This is the simple class that I have written for validate data. Okay. So I have not written all the business logic for the validate research form data. Rather, I just provided a debug log. I just write a debug log. Same for university list. What I have done, I have not written the business logic. I just returning the university list. And same for fees detail. We are going to call a third party app to get the fees and discount details. And then we are going to return the fees. That is what this three class is. Now, what the facade class will do. Let's check that one. So this is my facade class. So what it will do, we are going to call this one from the front end so that the other class should not be exposed to my front end. In this case, my front end will be developer console. So from the developer console, I create an instance of the facade class and I just call process research university, nothing else. I just call this one, and this facade class will take the all the overwhelming process that we are doing. So we will not going to write any business logic in the facade class itself. Rather, we we handle the complex business logic in subsystem, and from the facade class we just call those subsystem. This will what this facade class will do, this will simplify the interfaces. Only from the front end we need to connect with this one, and rest of the thing will be taken care by this class itself. So it simplifies the interfaces. The sequential execution will be handled in this class itself. First, we need to validate the data, then we need to check the score. All the sequence will be maintained in this class itself. We don't need to remember the sequence. What will be my sequence? I don't need to remember that one. This class will maintain the sequence so that from wherever, for a guest user, for a new user, for a super user, from wherever we call this class will take care of the sequence rather than we implementing the sequence each and every places. That will maintain, that will help us to maintain the sequence same in all the places. Also, this facade class is not handling the logic itself that I have already told you. The actual business logic is handled by validate data, university feed, detail, university list, those classes. It provided a simplified access to complex subsystem. Validate data, university fee detail, university list, all those are also validated score API. Let me open that one as well. So this one as well we are going to call from this one. So it actually simplified access to complex subsystem and it encapsulate all the workflow without business logic processing. So here what we have done as per our request, we are first validating our research form and all the logic is written in the validate data. Then once we got that this is valid, we are going to call the valid score API. In the valid score API, we are going to call if the exam is GRE, then validate GRE score. Otherwise, if it is GMAT, validate GMAT score likewise. I have created this class so that the interaction with the third party and the different exam logic will be reside in this class rather than the facade class itself. Okay. Now, after I get the validate score, the score is valid, then I will call the university list, that is this class. And then again university fee detail, if it is not a guest user, if then only I will going to call the fee detail, otherwise I am not going to call the fee detail. I will return the university list to the user. So this is how my facade class will take all the responsibility and keep a simplified access to complex subsystem. So I hope you got an idea about facade class, like what it actually maintains, why we need to implement facade class. So yeah, that is all about facade design pattern. Hope you like this video. Please let me know if you have any confusion on the design pattern, especially in the facade design pattern. And if you want to know more about any other design pattern, please do let me know in the comment section. I have already uploaded different type of Apex design pattern in my channel already. If you are interested to know more about design pattern, do check those video. I have also pasted the link in the description section. Hope you like this video. Thank you for watching.